Hey, good morning. How are you?
Good.
Doing a couple things at once. Sorry about that.
That's all right. It's all getting done.
Kind of get access again to our security cameras. Nothing romantic, nothing interesting. Better than romantic. Just great treating you.
Oh, good. Yeah, I'm still working till the end of the week. So, that normal.
Yeah.
Are you guys, is the town kind of closed for next week or you still?
If I can get your stuff, I'll close tomorrow and then take Monday off and then
Okay.
come back next week.
Okay.
But it all depends. In that thing where it's like, if I don't get the thing done, I'm not gonna enjoy the weekend.
Right. True. True.
It's called, true, it's called neurosis, I
Yeah.
think. I left you a paper copy there, I printed out.
I did print one out, just so I had it, talking about on the master plan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just made 3 of them in case you guys want it.
Okay.
Sometimes it's easier PDF, sometimes you want to like leaf through it.
Right. Yeah, no, that'll be good for every year. That one's.
Thanks. For the bog, yeah.
Oh, okay, so we're James are the same.
Yeah, that's weird. I have the Boys and Girls Club here later today. Do kind of like a tour,
Right.
so. Like, we're trying to set that up and find like some pins we had.
Okay.
So when, because it's teenagers. So
Right.
how do you make this interesting?
Yeah, well, yeah, let them play a game.
Yeah, that's exactly the idea.
Oh, good morning, good.
Morning.
Good morning. Like the Grinch shirt.
Yeah, thank you. We'll see you. Worked out a paper copy of the 2019 bank leaf plan right there in case you want one.
Oh, okay.
It got shared by email. I hold on to paper copy.
Wow. Email, I get lost sometimes, I don't like it.
Oh, yeah.
It took me almost a half an hour to find the pictures of what Robin said,
Yeah.
yeah. It took me a half an hour. I don't like my email. Well, it was a lot of, threads and the one, that's the next part.
You can keep adding to it every day.
Yeah.
Testing 1, 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3. And Carrie, I think has caught something. So
Yeah, I saw the email.
Yeah, COVID. from what she said, yeah.
Everybody's getting COVID.
It's
I
that,
don't know what it is.
what's the thing that all the kids are getting? Like, our,
Like RSV?
Yeah.
Yeah,
like, I have a coworker who, their kid caught it twice and then he caught it.
Hmm.
It's just like, it's, what is it? Infectious.
yeah, it's, I know a guy, his wife and 2 kids, so they all have RSV.
What can you do? You can only for so long. You know,
Right.
Drop off soup in front of the door.
Mm-hmm.
Brought to the rescue and pilots. We're waiting here.
Good morning. Morning. Oh, hey, yeah. You're on that video.
I'm getting listening.
Still with his chair.
Oh, so go. Oh.
We need to be facing the camera here, Ed, or it's not gonna go off, and this is being fine.
Yeah, this is fine. Oh, let's do this. I did. I mean, especially
Yeah.
like this, okay.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Hey, Matt, what's going on?
Hey, Bill.
Hey. Oh.
That's perfect. Oh, is that the camera?
Yeah, on there. How you doing?
I'm doing good. What good?
That's what she said. She's got the email. I don't know, how she's, getting around with what she has.
That's be helpful.
Javier.
Javier just walked out, so
So he's
he's
probably
all
all
this stuff.
he needs the problem. If you zoom in, it's the host, that's the.
So, yeah, I mean, I haven't seen anything come up, it must have came up on the screen. And now he resent, the information to the me for again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she should use that. I don't know if it's a BB bridge or something else. Do you have to accept people coming in out here?
Yes, I'm talking to the IT guy, but trying to see.
Was Terry there?
Yeah,
I'll be able to get on my email,
So, you want
because I'm not connected to that.
this if you're interested. Go to the section here.
Oh, okay.
Just stop it a little bit, but I think that's.
Run through USDA.
Yeah, I could, push that, you know, I think if we ever want to improve the trail, so that would be the. Thing, because they weren't done very well, I mean, now, so.
Right.
Terry just joined, I gotta pop back up with the IT guy.
We
Can we see him? What we hear?
She's connecting right now.
Well, my video on, you think? I wasn't gonna.
It's up to you. They want to be able to see your face when you're talking about that.
Terry,
We don't like to see you, just your.
Can you hear us, Terry?
I can, yeah, thanks.
There we go.
It's always.
All right, so I call the meeting to order, all right, so we should call the meeting to order. And with a number of topics to discuss, we probably should run through minutes from last time. I've got them on my phone.
Yeah, I got on my phone, going through the email.
I mean, I have it out. And November 2nd, when I saw that date, that was our last meeting. Do you? Okay. This is,
Yeah.
okay.
No,
We may have had
Yeah.
the initial one, and then we had that
yeah,
follow.
well,
Still seems like a long time.
yeah. I think it's one after than that, wasn't it?
It was at I have 11:25. It was sent out.
Okay, that may be. It was another.
But I will see the attachment.
Okay, 11:25, okay, that was it, the first one's in the back.
Printed a lot of stuff, but it didn't. So I have a meeting, I have an email from 25, and 11 minutes on,
Yeah.
but I'm not seeing.
Not seeing the. Minutes. I don't.
Did you do it?
Yeah, I did get them, but I mean, everything's hard to find and everything's in, a lot of threads, email
Right,
threads.
no, you're right, it is.
Yeah, I mean, I have them from November 18th, but it
I
didn't say.
found that, well, actually, I found it.
Perfect, wow.
I printed, a copy for me out,
Okay, well. Resource.
but I don't have, our agenda,
Oh, we don't have,
you know,
not for this week,
okay.
we can just follow it, and then put it up, what do you got there, list of them? Yeah, that's it, you wanna look at this?
Yeah,
It's
please.
not one like you, is that right?
Yeah, that's fine.
And we just kind of go.
Okay, condition I received. This is the same, right? It's the November 9th stuff.
Oh, that's right now.
Yeah, okay, that's what I have.
Okay. But see, I don't have that. It's supposed to be wrong for me. Okay. No, that was good. All right. So we'll start with the. Okay, let's see if there's any updates on the map, because that's the first thing, creating a map.
Yeah, so Terry, anything new on the map work? I know you said you had a big project, but soon as there's any.
Yeah, bear with me here. Can you all hear me okay?
Yeah.
Great. So as you recall, I showed you all pictures of some of the printed maps that I had seen that were produced from Albemarle County for their park system. I have been a volunteer with the woman Elise, who is the GIS specialist who actually created those maps. We had some brief conversations back in November. She told me about an open source version of the GIS software that I could install on my computer And with the help of my husband, Barry, the tech guy, I could probably create a similar map like we've seen. And that's about as far as I've gone with it. We've got the software loaded on our computer. We think it's doable. We have been able to access the Albemarle County GIS map software, the website. So we've got all those files. It's just a matter of just like, zooming in and just creating what we want for Van Cleef. So all the parts are there. And my friend Elise says, hey, I am actually willing to help you as much as I can. So that's great that I've got 2 people behind me who are willing to support this. So it really is just a matter of my printing a draft and showing it to the committee and us agreeing that, yep, we want those trails there. We want this kiosk, we want this legend there. And I think it's something that can happen once I can really spend some non-sick time getting to learn the software. So I'm making a little progress on it.
That's great. Luke said he felt if we needed it, but I don't think he's got the time either.
Hey, Terry, I know you're sick, but just, do you think that's something we could do over, or you're able to draft over the next couple of weeks and we could look at for the next meeting, or send out prior to the next meeting to look at? Or is that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I have needed a deadline for sure, and the amount of stuff that just got in the way mentally and physically between November and December. So yes, hopefully from here forward, 2 or 3 weeks, I think I can get something fully viable for us to look at and edit.
Okay, and part of what we talked about last time was we had information that showed what the difficulty of the trail was, the trails were, an explanation, next to that with legend. Is that something you can incorporate into that?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, great.
And I was discussing with Barry about what I was calling the connectivity between things like the apps on our phone. And basically, the two don't necessarily need to be able to talk back and forth to each other. It's okay that they exist separately. So, for our purposes, it's fine if the town website has a page devoted to Van Cleef, and on that page, there's a JPEG or a downloadable PDF with the map, just like we want it. And it's also okay that we put links to, by the way, you can use OnX on your phone, you can use this, and also connect people or, direct people to, hey, you folks who like to use trail maps on your phone, here's the links to those. So, but we want to make sure that we show the difficulty level of all the maps, of all the trails the way we want to, but that's something that's doable.
Yeah, that sounds good. Okay.
Terry, does this work with coordinates? Does GIS map you?
I'm going to say yes, but honestly, I haven't delved that too far into it. I'm still kind of on the perimeter on it because I haven't gone deep into the software yet.
It should have that.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming it's connected to a database, a working database.
The GIS that you would be looking at would definitely be back to the database, yeah.
So all this is online.
Yeah, you talked about a QR code, right? So there's the physical map that we're doing, but then you should be able to QR code it, and or however we link to it, Terry.
Right.
And then on your phone, you can blow it up and.
Or you got slips on there. The coordinates that will bring up the particular trail, because we talked about color coding the trail, right?
Right.
Correct.
And that will bring up a picture of, several pictures of the trail. So
Right.
you can look at.
So you know how to do this stuff?
I've done it, yeah, I have, but the progress 4GL database.
Mhm.
And wrote the code and did a webpage for a company with all the sites in, Washington DC.
Okay.
They would bring up all the different sites and you could click on it and brings up information on that particular site.
Okay. Yeah, and that's why I was thinking, if Terry gets something drafted and can send it out, right, then we have a resident expert also who can take a look at it. And bounce it
Yeah,
off.
that'd be great.
Okay. So I think that one's moving, the other one was park rules, which I know you.
I've sent some up, but these are based on some of the ones that I've seen. You could add or subtract. I think they should be fairly simple and
So,
yeah. That's simple. But anyway,
Yeah.
any additions, deletions, or other, I mean, we can, you know, make it prettier.
so I think, so you have it prohibited, right, which makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, and then he basically alluded to, what's okay.
Yeah, 'cause
What
they-
is not prohibited, right,
That's-
least cost, right?
That's what they had on the, I think I've seen a couple places
Yeah.
that have that.
What about like boats and canoes, kind?
It was,
It's
I-
really not big enough.
You're allowed, I think you're allowed, but the thing is you gotta drag it yourself because you can't bring a cart out of it.
Yeah, which everybody
The only
does.
time to bring a cart out of it is if like.
Right, yeah.
But, they have to, so I don't, it's really, we could say, you don't go, I mean, if you want, but, if somebody wanna go down the Texas with kayak,
It's not that big for
it's not, I don't think I've ever seen anybody.
And then you get several kayaks and canoes.
So you think we should say no, I mean, how's everybody else feel about that? Go, I think it should just be open ended.
I would not, say you can't do it, kayak or canoe, if you have children and you want them to learn how to canoe, you don't need a big area.
Yeah, I'd be,
Okay, yeah.
make a rule for that, but I wouldn't say you can or can't, I think we just put it at their own discretion.
Yeah, this comes into liability,
Yeah,
right?
right,
Yeah, boats in there. There's, some assumed liability in parks, right? I don't know the details of that, but if you have if you have it there, again.
And somebody might want to take a boat out and fish, I mean,
Yeah.
if they want to, but I don't, maybe usually cast across the reservoir.
So the other thing I was thinking though was, if we've got local parks all over that are part of Albemarle, as ours are, why don't we just pull them? I mean, literally, just we cut and paste it and post it.
Yeah.
Well, the cost basis, I think you have to go through and see what applies to that, so,
Okay.
right, and then the other thing too is, just like you said, and the code can lie out there. What's the liability of saying yes to something like that? If we do have that spill well,
Right,
and kids on kayaks get stuff that, again, like,
right,
we have to have buoys around, like, if we put allow boats,
Right.
we have to do that, like. Those are questions I think need to be answered before we say, yeah, right ahead,
well, I'm not
Like, are we
saying,
allowed to swim?
yeah, I'm not saying they're permitted, right, or that we explicitly say that, I mean, that liability exists today, we're not creating something new. But, to your point, what is our exposure, and who could answer that for us? I guess the question is, I go back to the town, or do we just ask somebody from the other part?
I think you gotta go both ways, first you have to find out from the town what our insurance. Those guys not covering for the part, and you can find out that it's a general whatever, and it covers X amount for every incident.
Right.
Or we might find out that the insurance company isn't aware that we have a public park,
Right.
we just don't know. And I think that's the point of our committee, is this can just evolve.
Yeah.
We gotta cross eyes and teeth.
I thought Javier was talking to, someone associated with Parks and Recs in Albemarle County. And he was supposed to meet with us, but turned out couldn't.
Yeah.
Well,
You went out, Chris.
that wasn't,
But that was about the grant.
that was.
That was worried about.
Yeah, it wasn't, but the first part of that.
But we still could get some ideas from him.
Well, we already got the stuff from, I took this a lot from the.
Oh,
pictures.
Idle Creek.
Yeah, I'll show you.
But it seems like we need to have an email or something to Javier saying what.
Oh, yeah.
What is
So this is based on.
That's literally what they said.
That's what they said, right, this is Raval, this actually, that might be, what's that? The park opening, so we could do it, we could, like you said, we
Right.
could use this. Camping, so we could put, campers, we could, motor vehicles, we got that, drugs and alcohol. That's on leash.
Okay.
Do not trust, we don't have to trust, we don't do that. We don't do that, no hunting, trapping, we can. Keep it clean, but,
Yeah,
I don't know, I took that.
yeah, we see, figure out who created
One
that.
thing we didn't put in there, again, it's like voting, I guess it's okay to bike, so we won't put that in there, we just assume that it's, if you wanna bike or you wanna kayak, you do that. But I do think maybe we should change it to no motorized vehicles like.
Yeah.
Well, if you're gonna allow any kind of boats or going, it has to be electric, we should be across the road.
And a lot of times that. I don't know that I've seen somebody prohibit electric.
Yeah.
They limit engines up to, 9.9, they've never seen you say you can't have anything at all, but, yeah.
This is another one that's pretty simple. I agree, potentially, well, that's Jordan, because that's different, because I mean, can't jog that.
Huh.
You can't, that's it. You can't do bike, but that's Ivan, and that's a little bit.
Why don't they do fast walking with that?
Oh, don't do that. It's possible. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen anybody prohibit.
I mean, a lot of.
I don't,
Yeah.
I think
You know what I
they
mean?
don't,
That's how-
they don't want jogging because I think they.
What about biking?
No, biking, no, okay, biking, jogging.
We allow it.
Yeah, we do. We're okay.
No, but
I mean, bank.
like right up here,
Walnut Creek?
Walnut Creek.
Yeah, well, Walnut Creek, it's pretty much like that, I think that's the same as,
Right.
what I had, but they allow swimming, of course, I agree, does have, Walnut Creek does have swimming,
Yeah.
because they have swimming and lifeguards and stuff. So anyway, I
But
guess.
they
it-
do have a nature area.
Right. But I think the thing was, the cost of the town, we got some money for the town, just to make something like that.
Yeah,
And put it on our,
Right.
and I think they make either a sturdy metal or, I don't know, metal, but something that's. To be put up there and would be damaged.
yeah, and it could even just be put on kiosks too, I mean,
Yeah,
rather
that's
than
what it
creating a sign, yeah.
That's what it's for, that comes up, but I think it needs to be professionally made.
Right.
I mean, I guess we could do this in office, but.
Nah,
Publisher or something, but we probably need, so that might be something down the road for, because I think. The Parks Committee could get as much as $9,000.
Okay.
From the town.
okay.
Well, it's
All right.
already from the grant.
No, we wouldn't use the grant for that. The
Okay.
grant, I don't think the grant could be used for that. We'll talk about that later, but.
Okay.
Okay, this is where we talked about liability disclosure for visitors, volunteers.
Yeah, I never got anything up.
Doing great, how about yourself?
I never got anything particular about the liability.
Okay.
Well, I thought that was just an issue, but we didn't, I didn't get into the term about that, but we.
Who is our town attorney?
Jim Bowles.
And you can't contact them.
Yeah.
Go through council.
Yeah. But I could.
Yeah, no, it had Bill was gonna
Right,
contact.
but that's down a little bit, I would like to know what would be the questions. Or what would you ask, that's what I would ask them about.
Well, some of the things that we just talked about with, liability generally, but specifically to voting. And the other activities that might happen.
Oh, so somebody votes out there,
Yeah, so if I just take my canoe up there and I fall in the water and I don't have a life preserver
okay, maybe we should worry something about liability or. Yes,
well, I think we just say no swimming, and if it's boating, it's boating is
Okay.
allowed, but what is our liability?
Oh, okay.
And what should we or should we not say, I think is the question.
okay, I'll send him these rules and see,
Okay.
and see what he thinks about. If we should have something about liability.
Yeah, I'll send the note to Javier, or if that's okay, on the insurance, just to see what we're insured for in our parks. And if you wanna check with, the town attorney on liability, and, again, we brought up voting, but there's probably other things.
But any question you have for Jim, you can send an email to Bill,
Yeah,
and Bill can
Yeah.
ask the question.
he's
You
good.
don't have to make Bill come up with a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, he's good at getting back to.
Yeah, if you send him an email and he has some time to think about it without being rushed or put on the spot, he'll get a very comprehensive. answer.
Okay.
And that's the best way, right?
Yeah,
I've seen to deal.
should I, when I send it, should I CC you guys too? In case you read, so you can send it.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so we got liability enclosure discussion on park boundaries connection to or other suggested mark where the park property ends, right? No action yet. I think we're all a little stumped on that one.
Yeah, it'd be good to know where we get in.
Well, also too,
Maybe I'll read it on a tree or something.
well, we can mark it once we have it. The town isn't gonna have to build. But shouldn't probably wouldn't have to be included in the paper, so we're gonna just have the marker.
Well, we talked about, maybe we could get survey, maybe Bob would do that. He might do that. Great. I'll call, he's other patterns. You know, that's the problem we're getting. I mean, if I see him like that, that's him, but.
What a terrible thing.
So
He wasn't at the.
no.
But no, he's done some survey for the town. And his son-in-law owns a. His daughter's.
Across 511.
His daughter's Jane. His daughter's Jane, and he's lived here. Barbara, his wife used to be down there. So anyway, it's a possibility.
Exactly.
If I see him, I'll, I don't know, I think do that, people say, we'll make your service.
Well, you can get a survey, and all your issues.
Yeah, but
And
anyway, that's
it
a,
would take one in live
Yeah.
issues, you know. And then the other question
you
is,
might be able to do it. I can go down there.
oh, what you have to say,
Yeah.
certainly have the software and to be able to provide that. But the real question too is things like, you know, what do you guys call it, the Billy Goat Trail? It's not on town property. Do we actually have permission to do that? Do we have something, are we trespassing?
Yeah,
People
that's a
everywhere?
good point, because
You
I don't know.
know, so we have to straighten that out.
The one that we walked
Yeah.
over?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because that was given, some of that was given, most of that was given to the town, but,
Yeah, I thought that land was donated, so it was kind of.
yeah,
we'll find out.
but we don't know what the boundaries after that, either, because you could walk right up to those houses.
Yeah.
I have. Just to see where it goes, I guess.
Okay, so as far as contacting
I
Bob,
like it. You know.
I mean, I know him socially, see, but not.
I'll email it, you see him,
Okay,
I'll reference you too,
okay.
and he's a great guy, but, and it's really not. He's been doing survey for a long time.
He's saying everyone.
But any place, say percentage there, we need to make sure we're.
Yeah. Cool.
On
Yeah.
based on very.
Yeah. Yeah. His daughter, he lives in town, or his daughter, her husband lived in town, they have 3 boys. But,
Yeah, they're right up.
yeah, so, listen, it's working out, you know, he just said, oh, can't do it. I'm not ready to say. Yeah,
Not sure.
okay, so I can do that, and you,
Yeah.
and I'll say, hey, Brian.
If you have his email, I'll.
Yeah.
certainly, that'll-
Okay.
So maintenance of the sewer trail with Matthew, contacting RWS, about access to vehicles.
Yep, I haven't had much luck, keeping in contact. In Almar County, haven't had much luck with that. The point was that they would have it on their phone, their apps.
Right.
It's how you, how it's going.
Right.
So if there isn't any kind of interest, we can't keep that out of the phone.
No.
So I think I just haven't been able to find the right person. We'll be able to assist us with that. And I was wondering if it's possible with, the emergency preparedness, because they're reaching out to the county. If fire department and EMS or whoever has all that on the phone, is there someone else who might be able to help us? You know, so it'll be a question for a means committee, the Jack's committee, and if they have a contact that might be able to help us with that. I don't know, I'm just not going to go into it. Another.
I'll say that.
Well, instead it's all on their own.
Yeah.
What is it that's on their phone?
And an app that apparently has all the easements
Okay,
and stuff like that, it's already mapped out, not that it's a map, but they can log in, and that's, they can tell you where it is. Me saying, I don't have anything else to talk to them about that, because it's all the people in the field
Right.
are on their phones, or have access to it through their phone. I don't have access to it, you don't.
yeah, so use of that, this is a little far afield, but, you know, mentioned, my wife and I scan and walked through that
Yeah.
park and walked over to the connection and went down easement. And I don't know what our ability is to
Yeah.
actually make a real connection right now, sort of scraped out path between the two.
And right, some of that's scanned, some of it's private, some of it's a sewer trail, but some of it's separate.
Well, yeah, so there's the sewer trail and then there's a kiosk.
Yeah,
If you look at the kiosk, you're looking at scan,
yeah,
but there's, you know, trees and again, a little kind of scraped out area. I don't know if that's private between the easement
yeah.
and scan, or if that's actually scan and nobody's really done a real trail.
Yeah, they would have to verify that, but the odds are that's probably, the 100-acre property.
Okay. I mean, it's a sliver that would be between the sewer and scan.
That's right, so sewer is well into,
Hertz property. Okay,
so there's a big section,
okay,
that's actually Dr. Hertz. And I say Dr. Hertz, so you can identify the property.
right,
Whoever is the owner of that.
right now,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're just saying Dr. Hertz and that's all.
I mean, it ties into the same question, but. So we'll follow up with Eileen's committee, general maintenance of the trails, and infrastructure across water and wetlands, so.
Oh, along with that, it's, you said several meters, so basically, these are the things, material, if anybody else wants to be, they have to apply, and we have to, agree that they can be on it.
Right,
I mean, this, we've had, some of the people have emailed it, but they haven't come to the meeting, so
Right.
they're not really technically on. But, so, you know, when I respond to people, I just put these people on.
right,
So I think that needs to be clear, because we had a discussion in the town council about like, you know, bringing commissioners or work, you know, ARB or, and that's a different process, but
Right.
I think it's good to keep it fairly small and if people want to come or, you know, that's fine.
okay.
And we'll do, send out minutes, okay, but anyway, so that,
So this, you know, leads into some of the grants we're talking about, right? Because, so general maintenance is one thing, but then there's structures, right, a walk without water area,
yeah,
right? And although that's gonna go up and down with,
Right.
with, floods and whatnot, there could be a walking, section put in there, right? I'm no expert on that, but there are ways to put things in there that won't get washed out and you can use, whether that's stepping stones or whatever. And I know with the $20,000 grants, I believe we've been talking
Yeah,
about, that
yeah.
may be something you could use that money for.
yeah, we need to talk about the. grant.
Yeah, we're gonna get, I think we're gonna
Okay,
get
yeah,
that,
that's
one.
it.
Not, it's
That's
still
a
the
tough
other
one.
new business.
But anyway,
But, you know, again, I think
can't use
that's,
a grant for that money. For maintenance.
right, I understand, not for maintenance, but things like putting up railings
Right.
and little bridges
Right.
and walking, you know, stepping stones. Again, I'm making it up, I don't know.
Yeah.
Smart.
And then we talked about the Boy Scouts.
Yeah, we talked about them doing an improved trail, right, and they would probably need to become experts on the
Yeah,
booklet here, assuming somebody there is, and they should research before they do,
Yeah.
that's all part of being an Eagle Scout.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that, we struggled with who the Boy Scouts are and, what they do anymore.
I mean, we can see if there's any around here anymore.
Yeah,
Thanks for combining the Boy Scout.
Yeah,
and the-
boys and girls.
it's called
I don't
Scouts.
know if they have a troop on. So, but you know, we got some Eagle Scout projects that I think that's usually what they did that with the other. trails.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, my view of general maintenance is, it's not bad, right? There are, you know, trees that go down occasionally, and again, it's taken a long time for those to get cut out, they ultimately do. And, you know, there's, other than, you know, areas that need to get created, right? I would say the maintenance is not the issue, it's more of a creation of like the Billy Goat Trail to
Yeah,
make it walkable,
you're right, yeah.
but
And the same with the one that goes around the reservoir.
yeah, And again,
Yeah.
that's Brian's opinion, maybe.
Yeah,
that's
I
actually
think, I don't think it's that bad either. I think if we had a day once every so often and just kind of clear out things, but
Yeah.
we really need somebody with a chainsaw for a few of those things. And I've already asked if the maintenance company, I don't know if they're not using a chainsaw.
Yeah, well, like, again, I can do that over break.
Oh,
As long as, I mean, I don't know if I have to go to town council to say, hey, can I cut the tree out of the way?
yeah, that might be.
Maybe
that's a-
this committee.
Maybe I should, that's a little bit of it too. If we, the maintenance committee, of our committee, does this, we can,
I have two chainsaws.
Yeah, what he did say was that you should have, some kind of hold on this form, which is something you should just email him about.
okay,
And say, can you have that, if you have volunteers using chainsaws? He already said that.
Okay.
Okay. What,
but I think it ought to be approved, you know, by, you know, if somebody, this doesn't go in there and start pumping a chainsaw or something, you
I
got
get
to
that.
come to work.
That's, it comes through the committee.
Right,
I know Dave Briscoe, about a year or so ago, maybe a year and a half, he got a group of people and they cleared a lot of the trees that had fallen where that snowstorm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it was Jack.
Yeah.
He did do that.
the other thing related to maintenance is over the summer, right, grass gets kind of on, you may like the grass
Yeah,
back there on some of those trails. And in particular on the sewer easements, with, I don't
And again,
Sure.
the town should be taking care of it, but it hasn't,
does the town take care of the sewer easement though?
no, well, it hasn't. Used to.
Go ahead, sorry.
Well,
No, go ahead.
no,
Sorry.
I think it used to, but I don't think it's.
Yeah, the town used to cut the thing. We have access to use it. They're not committing to keeping it cut for us to be able to walk on it. They maintain it for their
Sure.
use, so as long as the vehicle can get down it, that's maintained to them.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily have to cut grass, so if we want to utilize it for trails, and we want that grass cut, then we have to do that.
On the, coming back to the chainsaw, other than the couple that are up on the building or where else were there trees?
That's it, okay, that's the other thing, that's all. But as far as trees go, there's one you can walk over, the other one's just really one, it's the way.
Yeah, and I saw them.
Yeah. But as far as the big, I think, project, if they had this stuff, would be to put a little bridge over that one.
Yeah.
On the lake trail, that's the only place where you gotta jump over a little bit. I don't know, it should.
Okay.
It's nice.
Grading trails a little difficulty, I think that's already
We do that.
in what Terry's doing.
Yeah,
So,
and I think there probably needs to be something on that kiosk too. That looks like it's an entrance kiosk, I should have never been placed in the parking lot, but that kiosk needs to say, this trail is, challenge.
Yeah, so the grading part of that, and that's what we clarified.
Yeah.
Terry, she can pull that
Yeah.
stuff and say this is a difficult one, and then you find it difficult.
Right, and somehow mark that trail too. If people want to go on it, somebody said they fell on that one. And, even at the beginning, the going up the steps, say,
Mhm.
it's graded, it's more challenging.
Yeah, okay. Picnic tables in the park, I'm gonna work with the town administrator.
Yeah.
A few more picnic tables.
And that's a challenge too, because we don't have you needed two people to do that, and we got one, and we need to move all the picnic tables, and we're gonna try to do that, move all of it to different places. You want to do the handicap access?
Yeah, okay, yeah, so you had that walk.
I walked with the guy too, and, from what I understand, we need to use some of that grant to, level that ground and make some, put some gravel down. Probably won't be totally accessible, but there's a way, the grant can be used for that.
You walked with Chris or?
I know, I worked with this guy, the guy who gave us the grant.
Oh, okay, I got it.
No, Chris didn't make it,
All right.
What the Bristol?
no, it's a.
Yeah.
What's his name? But anyway, he thinks the money could be used to fix this up. But, Matthew thought, well, maybe the company itself could.
Javi, our contacting, has been working with the company.
Oh, good,
And it might be a problem, they have to come from North Carolina, and it could be expensive. The issue was Matt Wallace was supposed to take care of this because the guy who approved the dock from the beginning based on, it's supposed to look similar like that. Who was,
See, there's a lip here, so
Mhm.
you know that.
Yeah, I had a picture of it.
Okay.
So Javier gave me the name of the company that we had put in, assuming it's the place I don't know, and the number to the gentleman, who put it in. And as I was about to call him, I said, I went and looked at it and said, what's the problem? Because I didn't see one, right? So
Yeah,
the only one I can see is
I know.
what you got there, which is that lip.
yeah,
like, Robin,
put that up,
yeah.
that's great.
What's the
He
problem?
was the one,
Oh, it's-
he
it should be a
he looked at it, after it was put in,
Here's the problem.
and he gave,
This should-
Matt
It
Law
should be a flat.
a report saying, I don't,
Except we don't have to,
and Matt never did do it.
yeah, never does it feel.
But I guess that's the point, people who installed it, why did they have a ranch so long? Like, where did that
Well,
come
the
from?
reason why is, they thought they could get it in, but they're dealing with a lot of roots in this area they couldn't.
They took a
I
short-
get it, but I'm saying it's installed improperly. So
It's
when they installed it, they knew that was not
They
handicap,
took a shortcut.
They took a shortcut.
right? And
Right.
so why wouldn't they be responsible to fix it? And why wouldn't the solution be a shorter ramp when they need to install the correct ramp? They installed the supposedly handicap accessible and got paid. And grant money and everything else, and when they installed it, they knew it wasn't handicap accessible.
So
We're
where,
no offense, but that should be something they need to fix and not at our expense.
I agree.
And it's not only, if we get
is this the, like, the
from the left,
I think that's an example
from
of
the
show,
left side,
as
it's
opposed to that.
it's gonna be hard to get a path down here. We need a path coming from the left side of this.
Yeah.
And if we could get it graded with gravel, and we could get an extra $2,000 through my contact.
Oh, great.
That would be through the Virginia Wild Turkey Association.
Right, we're jumping around here, so.
yeah, so there's three pieces to this, right? There's access to the park. How do I get in it? Because
Right.
Yeah, that's.
right now it's a challenge for a human that's perfectly able-bodied to get up and down those hills, right? That's not easy either. That's one. Two is getting to the dock itself, like you were just saying with the gravel. And then three is that step, right? I think if we take that in reverse order, the step, again, I have the name of the guy, I can go back to him, and I just wanted to have a picture for myself, you guys have that, but it's easier to talk to now. As far as the grading goes, I think there's the 2,000, I don't know how much it
Oh,
costs
we
to do the
did,
grading.
that we could use for the other, the 20,000.
Well, that's where I was going, right?
We can't get the 2,000, not unless we do the grading and
First.
to the dock first.
Okay, so the grading would, if we did grading, then they would help fix the dock with their money.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, and so that's sort of a two-pronged solution too, go back to the original, tell them to fix it, or we spend some money to fix it, right? So.
Well, there's another point too, though. Is that this was installed incorrectly, which they knew it was. When they did it, they were up here.
It's supposed to look something similar.
Yeah, they know what it looks like, they know, they're the ones that made it,
Mhm.
and they know they installed it incorrectly, and they know the way they installed it. That's a speed bump that stops anyone with, that's just movies.
Okay, I just make sure.
A speed bump, they know they can't jump it with the wheelchair, so they knew they did this wrong, they just, in a sense, got away with walking away from it. The only solution really is the ramps, if you want. That's why it has to butt out the way it is. So they need to have.
Or,
a ramp
maybe
that's-
not more, yeah.
Well, no,
He's right.
too steep, so they need to have a ramp that's the right size, which would probably be almost a third, a third taken off. And then the question is, those ramps could be used to get down to it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying, yeah.
But when you look at that picture, it's very clear that it goes from the dock straight flat and clicks right on top, clicks to it. And they just said, oh, wow, these are like, 7 feet too long. We're just gonna lay it on top and walk away and hopefully we can get
Yeah,
for it.
and yeah, they
The bottom
should
line
take care of that. The reason why, they couldn't do anything because there's a lot of stuff.
I understand that, but someone didn't do the proper measuring, and someone didn't do the proper site plan, whatever it is, they took $50,000 of the state's money and said, we've got a handicap dock, and it's not, and they knew that when they walked away from that installation. And so they need to put the proper size ramp on there so that it can go flat.
Yeah,
And then with those, either they're gonna cut that up, and I don't believe they would manufacture it in the field, but those can then be used to access down to it instead of gravel, which again, I'm not too sure gravel is handicap accessible either.
no,
My definition of it and what I read, it's not. So gravel can be a base, but you still have to have something where you on top of it through,
mhm.
or as with you, it has to be stable enough.
But it's according to Robin, who has one of these motorized wheelchairs, he hunts with his. He says, no way you can fix this area from the top here. To be able to get it to that, not unless you spend a lot of money digging up here, he says it has to come from the left-hand side. To
But
this,
that's, yeah, I understand that,
But again,
there's two issues.
if those ramps are the proper size,
uh,
right, not extended, if it's the proper size. And they need to get someone out here to determine that, because if we determine it and it's wrong, it's on us.
yeah, we shouldn't touch.
And once it's on a proper size, those ramps there, or ramps like that. Could be installed, just like they're installed, like at my father's house to get him up. You know, through the VA to be able to get up to his steps, they know the grades and everything, that can be all done too. And realistically, the mini excavator is, $1,500 for the week. It won't take much to take care of something as silly as that. But the point is, that ramp can be utilized, those two ramps can be utilized to solve, how do I get down there? If we're allowed that, but they put the wrong size ramps on there. And they did not install it properly, and they need to do it correctly. Doesn't matter.
I agree with you 100%, I agree with
But
you.
that's needs to be the discussion
Right.
with them of, you need to do this right. And if someone wants to say, well, we're not, that's tough, and then just gonna have to follow up that. When we took money.
If I'm not mistaken, we had a meeting, Javier and Robert Clark and I, we had, and. Javier mentioned something that he talked with the company, said, well, it's already installed and, there's no warranty now on it. So,
They
but they,
installed it wrong, correct?
So
I-
but basically, they're saying we're not gonna do it.
right,
They would have to put in writing that they believe this was installed properly.
right,
And then they would be out of any other grants.
I understand this. I can see this involving, a lawsuit or, or.
Well, let's take, we can check with Javier on it, but I'll follow up also and just get them to
He
document.
gave me the number, so you could call them yourself.
Yep, that's what I plan to do, right? So that's the dock itself, but getting to the dock, right, once you're in the park. Is the other thing, right? We talked about the gravel or whatever it is.
Well, that's, do we wanna make that decision that we're gonna try to use the grant money for this?
So I think there's two pieces of grant. I don't know if $2,000 is
No,
enough.
it's 20,000.
Okay, so I think that's the discussion we need to have because we don't have a grant yet, right? So we have to write up the grant to say.
No, we don't have to, but all we have to do is let the person know that this is one. The guy that I met with, I sent that information about,
So the gentleman that you walked with,
yeah.
is it Chris?
Chris.
Okay.
I think his name's Chris, but we got this tourist grant and it gave the stipulations, like we can't use, I don't think we could use it for, like town signs. Or even the Van Cleef nature, it's because it's gotta be outdoor recreational.
Yeah.
And the only thing that fits in that would be Van Cleef, I think. We might be able to use some of the money for the maps there.
It's through the Virginia Tourism Corporation, here are all the things you can use it for and all the
Yeah.
applications.
And he showed, because I took them all over town and we looked at the other things. And basically, it has to be for like outdoor recreation.
Okay.
So we can't, and I don't think we can use it for the boat land.
Okay, so if we're presuming it's ours to use,
Yeah.
right, I would say, yeah, we would want to do that, right? The question is, we're all smart people, we can figure out solutions, but we also have to have somebody who has the skills
Right.
and knows all the regulations to quote what's it,
Yeah,
right? So I don't know if that's.
that's the one, we're about to see, because we want to use it for exactly. Primarily for that, and it won't cover the whole, all the grading all the way from the top of it.
Yeah, down that road,
Right,
yeah,
but, and he did say, he said that the handicap does not have to be totally, it has to be getting it approved, to get it,
Okay.
and somebody can approve the walk.
Okay.
So we can use that money to get access to the.
And you want it on, and I can specify. he can-
Robin said-
Robin could get involved then too.
Yeah, Robin is the person, because he's the
Yeah.
one who pretty much from the very beginning went and studied the whole area.
Good.
And he's the one who approved this, but then,
Do you think you would be a good person to contact that company and say, hey?
I don't know, I can ask him.
It's wrong. I mean, somebody needs to have some clout.
Right now,
This is the
right
unacceptable.
now, I think it should be the committee, and then,
Oh.
Javier, and then we can get him involved, because we definitely need him involved.
Well, yeah, and he needs to speak strongly that this is not acceptable, and you got this for the town, and. You know, most recommends.
What we can do is, it's one thing, you know, to say it's wrong. It's another thing to also provide them with the solution. So what is the measurement roughly from the dock to where it's actually level? And to be able to say, well, if there was a 6-foot ramp like this with railings, that would solve the problem. Is that something we can do? Do you know what I mean?
We could take it.
Instead of just arguing, well, we
Yeah.
walked away, you guys had a chance, it's too bad it's us. You know, if you give them a solution, you might be able to, you know, I don't know,
Should we take a measurement and say this should be?
rough. We can't.
Right, yeah,
go
right,
back.
I say, it's, like you said, 3 feet per buck, and it was not installed correctly, and you come back and do that.
Robert was thinking it's 3 foot that needs to be.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that's not about right.
They
I
can
can
just
do that.
drive all around, it's really what it wants. And, you know, that's their job.
Okay, so. So we need to get with the, so he's speaking for the town on that.
Okay, so, yeah, the other conversation or the other piece of this, right, there's like the stool. And I thought you alluded to it in your email after you walked with him, is you don't have access to the park. So it sort of turned him off in the sense that, why am I gonna make a handicap accessible park?
Right.
Handicap can get into.
Right.
Is that, am I summarizing what I wrote correctly?
No, he's okay.
Okay.
That was my thing about having access. And I think down the road, if you have access to those gates, maybe a combination lot or something. I think if you coming and driving and want to drop off somebody at the handicap, you can go down and get to it.
Right.
So that might be something we could talk about do that.
Okay. All right, but that's not
No, that's a different part. That's
gating to
Yeah.
this. All right, the next one was directional signs to the.
And I submitted something to VDOT,
Okay.
and they said they're gonna do that. I said, I told them exactly where it was. There's a website you go to, never got back there. They said it takes at least 10 days. But I said, what I suggested was just a double-sided sign saying, you know, park. Public municipal park.
Right.
And they don't have to put that, and just put it somewhere, between, Jefferson, somewhere along Jefferson and one, you know.
Okay.
And I'm not sure, they would have to decide where to go to, but I just think it needs a marker there. Because that is a private road there.
Right.
But I guess we have to pass this.
Right.
I don't know, we'll see if they do it, but do we need one up the car? On the other, end? Is there something, I heard there's something,
There is something, it
so that doesn't need to be done.
doesn't say anything.
You know,
but there is the part.
You know, I mentioned this to a couple people, and they said, well, you don't want too many people knowing about this park, this is a private little, just a little treasure. It's a real treasure for us,
Yeah.
that's a local person, like,
Yeah.
it's a treasure, we want a lot of people to do, but you're right, it's for the public, they should probably know that there is a park in town.
Right. So the other couple things we had, right, developing wetlands parking. Factory, I think we put that as. Put that in the future,
That future.
I mean, that's where it stays.
That was first,
Updating and revising the master plan, and I know there are a couple of copies of the master plan
Yeah.
here. You know,
yeah.
big thing with the master plan is. A lot of the stuff that was put in it was done,
Yeah.
right? So what's the future?
Put it up there, yeah, what's the future? So, a lot of it has been. Oh, you got it?
I had an idea for
Yeah, I think we can submit our proposals to approve it.
So what you had was phase one, which said it was done, and then there was phase two, which were targets. A lot of this was really just trail creation, and that's done. And then there was three, which was install bathrooms, evaluate the
Yeah.
development trail from Dam Breast to Meat Creek Trail on the eastern side of the lake, subject to environmental constraints, which I think loosely was done also. And then there was remaining trails and interpretive signage was supported. Thought of a lot of that.
Yeah. Well, this thing about, let me just go back to the first page, the metal picnic area, we didn't put the picnic tables, in, so that's not complete.
Okay.
That's still not complete. And I don't know if we have a P trail and dam safety signage, I don't know if we have all the signage now, so I think the signage could be improved. So that's phase one. Phase two, the part of, I think we need to eliminate this, including paving across the dam breadth. I don't think anybody really wanted that. I'm not sure if you do that. So I think that needs to be changed. I don't know why that was even in there. I don't think we wanted to have that, and maybe that was the connection with the overlook that they wanted that, but you know, overlook's not used much, so I don't think they need a. Anyway, I think that could be a change.
Okay.
And then the boundaries, we're looking at the boundaries.
Yeah.
The rest of, most of that's,
Yeah,
except ADA trail.
Right.
I don't know what the woodland picnic area facility is. That's confusing me. I'm not sure where that is, and they have a picnic table or somewhere. They used to have one.
There's one at the left on the top. Of the
Yeah,
dam.
maybe that's a woodland picnic area. I don't know. We could probably eliminate that to at least define that.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when they line up in the,
Oh,
Yeah.
really? People throw 'em in?
we had a problem with that.
And then we could probably get a few more trailhead signs. Like
Yeah.
the one that goes around the lake, you don't know where that is. The one that was, goes on a sewer trail, you cut to the right,
Right.
that doesn't have signs there.
Well, and there's maintenance on the existing sign, right? So those were all floppy.
You're right, there's. Oh. And I'm not sure about this interpretive signage and educational program, that might be something the Boy Scouts want to do that, or I think that was
Yeah.
an idea. I don't know if that's ever happening.
Okay.
I don't like, I'll tell you the truth, I don't like a lot of signs, like, we need.
Yeah.
I agree with
Yeah.
you.
You see this, you know, you don't have to have three identification, you know, you got that at some places, but
Yeah,
I think that's.
Well, I mean, using the color blazes is usual.
Yeah, that's,
I don't
so
think
we
we've
could,
done that.
we could look at that, lower bathrooms, I don't know if it's something that happens, I asked about that, and there's some stipulations about having bathrooms, on the breast, that we had an idea for doing it, and they said you can't put it there, can't put it there, because it's a reservoir.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's a tough one, that.
Yeah, I think we talked about that last night. I think we put it aside. It's also an ongoing maintenance expense.
And then the last challenge, certainly the same. So I mean, I think some of these could be put in, but if there's any other ideas, and I think then maybe we could just do some of these and send it to the planning commission, probably the ones to update it. But they would probably like our recommendations.
Okay. So again, that was a aspirational one that we had,
Right.
and then we talked about.
Yeah, well, the other thing is, the meetings, I think we probably talked about the second Thursday.
And I'm certainly open to that.
We could just play it by ear, month too, we could just say that the next meeting here, we don't have to have a set time.
Well, I mean, if we target it, we can shift it on that.
Yeah,
And Javier, I think he wound up sending them out for the second Thursday. I would have.
we can do the first, but did we say the second Thursday?
I thought it'd be emailed.
Let's do it second, I think, and then we can always change it if somebody can't show up or we have too many people.
Well, the good part about the second is when the Thursday lines up being like the first day of the month,
Yeah,
kind of like the architecture review board,
Right.
everyone misses it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
So the second Thursday is, oh, okay, well, now in December, and,
yeah, I mean, and there's, and there's a lot of, there's other meetings we have first part of the month sometimes too.
So the next one, actually on my calendar, January 4th,
Is that second?
it's the first Thursday.
Oh, we're talking about second.
Yeah, I know, I'm just saying what's out there now.
So let's do it. And,
And just stick it to the second Thursday.
and we'll make sure Terry Samus is done, and we'll do that, yes, but I think that's what we.
I think she was fine either way, she was flexible, she and I talked about that.
Okay.
And if you're there, Terry, we'll.
Yep.
Okay,
Is that good?
Yeah,
with you,
so are
second?
we saying we're going with the second Thursday,
Yeah.
not the first?
Yeah, is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does either one of them,
Yeah, either of those are fine with me in January.
and we could always, if somebody's, if there's something comes up, we could always just say, let's temporary that, let's not have it, or,
The 11th,
yeah,
and we could either cancel or we could just, rearrange.
We always have that flexibility, we set it out, it's every second Thursday,
Yeah.
and everyone knows the kind of plan for it, right? Including staff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Right,
I mean,
yeah.
I know too, you know.
and so 11, yeah, 11, all right, and I look up some units. Yeah, I guess we'll find out about the grant.
yeah, so we talked, we're going to new business, but I think that was our new business.
Yeah, that's a big one.
About the
It's a
grant. But I think that it covers the items on our agenda with action.
Well, we also had a request from the emergency preparedness committee that I have to go over to. Like, I'm gonna do this and that.
I'm gonna do that now.
Well, and one other thing, just while we're talking, so, and you're talking about the sign up on Hardwood.
Yeah.
We need to straighten out or find out what our right of way or access is to the park. Because it's a private,
Yeah.
home off of that driveway, and that driveway goes to the church. And the top part of the driveway is in poor maintenance, and the lower part is in better maintenance.
which
So
property you talking
Well,
about?
you know where the church is on Harbor Street? There's an entrance way there where you can drive to the park, that's where you can drive to the.
Oh,
Have you ever done that?
you mean right up here?
Yeah.
It's a black church?
Yeah,
Yeah, I go there that's the way that I always.
yeah, and that's the way most
we
people.
obviously have a right.
Yeah,
You know, what I mean? My point is, what is it, who's responsible, do we have a road maintenance agreement, do we get that front part, is there not at all, and the town just needs to kind of stuff I can take, expand, that's what I'm trying to say, we need to know what that is.
How we're gonna do
Well, we
that?
obviously have right of it,
How can we do that?
that's something staff would be able to sign out.
How's that?
Yeah, probably. But what is, do we have a road agreement? You know, usually that's deeded. We just need to find out what that is, so
Well,
we'll
yeah.
kind of get
How's that? Go?
out of there.
Yeah.
Well.
Or you-
I can do
oh,
it.
you can. Okay.
So the chairman-
Okay, then we can do, sit down and find out this.
and who's on the emergency, committee?
Jeff,
Okay.
Chairman, and Eileen and,
Hey,
Dave.
Okay.
That's all I know. Maybe another one.
No, that's it.
So that's it, they got three.
I think they like them. But that's
Yeah. And they're just looking at, it's part of it's public safety.
Yeah.
Policy. But anyway, do we need to talk about that?
Well, we got
We got
They're requesting,
Yeah.
what was the lady's name or something?
I mean,
But she wanted to know some things.
And I thought we were pushing that out to
Yeah, let's do this.
them.
yes, and
That's something that,
if you had responded to them, what's the response that you sent to them? If not, that's something we should be discussing, because there's some good stuff and there's stuff where they really should, then presenting that to us and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So there's a whole discussion on it,
Right.
which would be good to have, but
nice
so
on that.
depends, did you respond?
I'm looking, and is it Eileen EIL?
Yeah.
AILPEN,
Yeah.
like alien, but I mean.
Eileen Watts, so, okay.
I think some of that is, we don't have any control of that. Like, that would be up to the, person who brought it, they probably have, they need to look at, how that would happen.
Yeah.
And then we got injured there.
Rules not. All right. I'll just read it since you were on. As part of our work on emergency preparedness via the emergency preparedness committee, I've started to document use cases that identify potential gaps in emergency management plan. As part of the effort, Jack Maxwell pointed out that we may not have specific plans for an emergency incident involving Van Cleef or walking trails in general. So just go to what the what if the medevac was involved, how do we get to it, et cetera, et cetera. Again, that's not a, she said, I'm not sure what some of the answers, are for these, but some ideas may come to your group. These might lead to a grant project, benefiting people using trails generally, map signs, which I'm doing. So appreciate it. I'd love to hear your thoughts the group may have to help answer the emergency preparedness response type. And you just kind of sits that, thank you. So that's the Cliff Notes version of bringing. I think the answer from my perspective, I agree, that we are working on signage, so it's clear where people are walking, they know where they are, but it's the emergency preparedness group that needs to determine medevac areas. And
Right, I mean, I would say, what, maybe ask, what is that Appalachian Trail situation?
right.
You know, what is any, I mean, this going on a fight. You know, you gotta take that on
I
yourself.
have a copy for land on that dam.
And that would be up to, that would be up to the UVA, really. Yeah, I think land, they're in the meadow area.
With the state and county. They
Yeah.
have procedures, they're qualified, and I don't know if this committee is qualified, probably no one in our town is qualified to make that kind of decision. We have a helicopter that lands up at the rescue squad, I'm sure they have the ability to. A plan to get people there, you know, last thing we'll do is throw them in the car and they die. You know, we're not qualified.
They probably, they might own it.
So the real question is, the county already has this stuff, and it would be good for our committee to know what that stuff is. So it would be good for the emergency preparedness to share that with us. Or, and if they don't have it, which they don't, because it's a new committee, just like we are, that when they find it, we should be able to get it to us. So we always have to keep in mind that that's not our qualifications and that's not our job. True. And not so much that we want to do the job.
Yeah.
I'm not a doctor, I can't set a bone, even if I know how to, because my dad taught us those things. In the Boy Scouts, it doesn't matter, and I'm not qualified. So I think a lot of that really is, those are very good questions. And then their community gets that answer, we would love to know that. What I thought was really interesting though, is it does beg to differ, because we've had this weird push and pull with Albemarle County. And, well, you're the town of Scottsville, we don't go near you, yet we give them $700,000 or $800,000 a year in property taxes, they can claim that. Blah, 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 so we are Albemarle County, but we're not. And the question is, in their plans, do they have a plan to make clear? And I think it'd be very effective for the emergency preparedness committee to be presenting to them. I don't know if you know, we have a park here, what's the plan? And if they have a plan, great, if they don't, they're the ones that are qualified and need to develop that. So I think it's an interesting question that needs to be asked. But the answer unfortunately comes from the town.
Right.
I don't think the town, the point of the county supervisor, like, well, you're the town, we're not obligated to do that, we have to put that on. But they're the ones that put the not the town. Also too, I think the other question is, and we talked about it, was, you know, vehicle access.
Right.
It would be good for us to know. Our committee could actually say, what is vehicle access acceptable and what isn't.
Right.
And, but the county should also know that, because you don't want them showing up and finding out.
Right.
Right, so those are good questions that we could work on.
Comes back to who has the key too, so we still don't seem to know who that is.
Right, and then we get into that, it's just like the fire department. They may require, it's a bad example, but they have a thing called a knock box, and that's not gonna work here.
Right.
They may require a combo box, so that they can do any tax. Just like, you know, the farms up right, and they have to give them access to the ponds for water, for, you know, the fires in the area. But they'll know that. We
Right.
do.
Okay.
But I think it's good to get us on the radar if we're not. I would like to think we really are, but we may not. And that's an excellent question, right? And I'd love to know what the community finds out about that.
Okay, so I'll respond, for you. You aren't copying, but copying.
Okay.
Terry, I know you're not feeling well. Do you have anything to say about? Just about,
No.
okay. No,
I'm
that's
sure
okay.
eventually I will.
Thinking you're like.
Yeah,
kinda
no,
out, you know.
thanks. It's
Okay.
been good to I'm taking a lot of notes, and one day I'll understand what I meant by all of that.
Yeah, I don't know if I got all my notes, I might need to notes. That's.
I've got it.
Well, one thing on the nature area, I didn't see in the plans that I would like to see is how we can increase the green space and wildlife.
Okay, that could be.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, actually, I'm even.
You know, like the Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts could help install bluebird houses, you know, different areas like Ivy Creek has.
Yeah.
And plant some wildflowers around.
And also, maybe, I think they could do more trees along the reservoir. They
Yeah.
had, they planted those years ago and some of those died.
Yeah, and you can get it when you get into the green space, you can get into the whole thing with some of the groups around here planting natives and trying to get the invasives out. And that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think especially with the part, the meadowland area where the picnic is, that would be nice to have some sort of wildflowers there, if they.
Yeah.
Because that's meadowland, so.
You could just
You wouldn't want to put it in the woods.
They would
Yeah.
see every bird.
Yeah.
The birds would love that. Yeah. But wait, who's the person, who's the organization, Terry, you might know this, that did all like the plantings behind the brewery and it has to do with the river.
Oh, that was James River, well, I think it was the James River Association. Did a
They
little bit of that.
used to be housed where, what's that office, Aaron Root, and they used to be one of them, they kind of shared the office.
I don't know.
We might be able to reach out to them, because we probably never invited them into the park, right? But certainly that all meets the same criteria. And they can be really good about telling me what's indigenous, what's not. We don't want bluebirds, but we really want a sparrow.
Right.
You know, or really need an owl box,
Or that box.
you know, I don't know, but they're
excellent.
experts, as long as we engage them and see if we get a project. Because they're actually pretty responsive.
And what is the name of the group again?
Do you remember? Terry, do you know?
I follow a few of them on social media, so I'll pull it up. But there's, you know, the different like Virginia Native Land and Wildlife Societies. So I'm sure we can find the Albemarle County folks and talk with them about what's appropriate. But I love the idea of a bluebird box if bluebird is the right bird we want to be attracting.
Yeah, this was a group that had something to do with protecting the waterways.
Okay.
And they've done something in our town many times.
So there are many different types of
Burger is a perfect example. Like all those original plantings behind the brewery at the beer garden was done by those organizations.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't recall, but maybe it's listed.
Yes.
The brewery in Wisconsin.
Area group or something.
Well, I know one person is trying to bring back the long leaf pine.
Oh, yeah.
Andy Christian. Yeah.
That'd be nice down there, with the meadowland area.
Yeah,
There-
he planted a tree right next to the bird.
Oh,
Yeah, we're just a little bit out of the zone for those to really take off here.
I have one in my yard.
But I like that idea. Present
Give it a
area,
shot.
make that beautiful down there, make it a real picnic area.
Uh-huh.
And I think first up, planting, we should be talking to someone who knows.
Yeah.
What I did is.
Yeah.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah. We'll just,
And that's what we did.
broadcast flowers.
Yeah, they did that.
And I know Andy's very well researched on.
So, that's, like I said, I can't remember, James River or something. I'll see if I can find it. If I do, I'll text it, but I mean, I'll know. But that would be the one for the touch.
Yeah.
Okay, is that everything?
Anyone else?
Nope, all good.
You're there?
We'll call it,
Thanks, Terry, thanks.
thanks for joining us. Call it meeting adjourned. Hope you feel better, Terry.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks
Merry
everyone.
Christmas. All right.
See you in January. Oh, and happy solstice.
Well, I thought it was, yeah. Today,
Yeah.
10 o'clock around that time.
Woo.
Sure.
And then we all know that whatever the weather's like, at the time of the solstice, will give you an indication of what the weather's gonna be like for the next 3 months. You need to pay attention to
Is this a little bit of Farmer's Almanac?
that. Farmers all.
Yeah, and Matthew has been the farmer.
Okay. Yep. All right,
I know we're supposed to get a lot of snow.
we'll find out. What I'm trying to say.
Still up.
I don't know, I don't think it's gonna be a lot.
All right, thanks all,
All
bye.
right, get better.
Thanks.
What's this?
Is this something I can reference?
Yeah. What's
Bring
it?
it back. I'm getting a little more organized.
But it's,
Bring my
yeah,
minutes
what's
this time.
one of the things that, this, postage fee. And then I noticed they were using this kind of thing in the family,
Mhm.
I had a problem, they just painted trees blue, you know? And,
Oh, no, like that.
you know, it's awful, and so the markings is really good, you have a marking, it's on the same tree in both directions.
Mhm.
You don't put them on a trail unless you're lost. You know?
Right.
Like if it's a well-built trail, like it's a path, you already know, you don't need to put it.
Like a sugar line, you know,
It's very subtle. And then even the trail signs are small, you know, we got these big tall holes, you know, they should just have it smooth.
Right.
That key box, we should have done that, yes, hold there, you know, room.
Yeah.
You know, it's a diamond or something, okay.
And do they indicate some of that in here on what you should do?
Some of that, yeah, some of that, they cut that. But they also today, right? Original today. That's, it's steps.
Stanley does okay, and he goes away.
That's still recording, yeah, it's still recording.
Transplanting tree this out. With a man power, bush,
Yeah,
I like that too, I like that.
I think I can do that.
yeah.
I really hold it. I like it.
What was it,
We stop, up and down push on this.
yeah, well, Brown's about it,
Yeah, that's
a couple of decades, yeah, John.
Yeah.
And, wasn't
Yeah. Right. You know, I love that, this.
Well, I thought Steve maybe was up there. Yeah. All right, see you guys. All right. All right.